Welcome to BG24 Public Affairs. I'm Parminder Bunga.
And I'm Melissa Belcher. The Mud Strut is one of the biggest events that the Wood County Humane Society puts on. One of the organizers of the event joins us live in the studio.
Very true, and she may have brought along a few furry friends. But before that, let's get the updates on the latest news and weather from Heather Pauloff. Heather?
Hello, I'm Heather Pauloff. We'll be getting to public affairs with Parminder Bunga in a few moments. But first, let's look at today's top stories and weather. In community news, police say propane could have been involved in a deadly house explosion yesterday. It happened on Stony Ridge Road in Troy County. The explosion killed 2 and injured 3 people. It took at least 4 fire departments to put out the blaze at the single-story home. And we have an update on the Navy Yard shooting that happened yesterday. Authorities say suspect Aaron Alexis was suffering from multiple mental problems, including paranoia and hearing voices. Veteran Affairs treated Alexis last August. The motive behind the mass shooting remains a mystery, but law enforcement officials say there was no link to terrorism. And harvest moons are a common part of the fall season, but this month's harvest moon is particularly interesting. It's the 4th full moon of the summer season. Full moons that occur close to the autumn equinox are called harvest moons because of their particular brightness, which helps farmers extend their days in the field after sunset. Another exciting moon display happened 4 years ago. In 2009, a super harvest moon occurred where the harvest moon fell on the autumn equinox. This week's harvest moon is expected to happen at 7:13 Thursday morning, although the moon will appear full all night. And in campus news, Falcon families are coming to BGSU this weekend. The Office of Campus Activities is featuring a showing of Monsters University, ice skating, and a planetarium show. The school says more than 700 families registered for Family Weekend last year. And speaking of the weather, the weekend, let's take a look at your Black Swamp weather forecast. Our current conditions, we're sitting in the mid-70s right now in BG under a sunny sky, and with those light winds coming out of the south, at just 6 miles per hour, it feels like 75 degrees in BG. And for tonight's forecast, 60 degrees with showers. Chance of rain just 40% though, and those winds will be continuing from the south. Light winds, 0 to 5 miles per hour. Those showers will be widespread with a little bit of a warm evening for tonight. For tomorrow's forecast, 84 degrees with those showers continuing throughout the day. Sunrise will be at 7:19 in the morning. Those winds will be continuing from the south at about 5 miles per hour, bringing up that warm air from the south. For tomorrow night's forecast, 68 degrees with those showers still continuing, just a chance of rain of about 60%. Those winds still light from the south, 0 to 5 miles per hour. And for our national weather right now, we do see this weak low pressure system bringing a warm front into the area, which is going to be bringing those mid-80 temperatures tomorrow. The front does have a little bit of precipitation out ahead of it, no severe weather, and no heavy rain amounts are expected. For our regional radar, the only precipitation we see on the map is just this little section of rain just south of Milwaukee and west of Chicago. We won't be seeing any of that, at least for the rest of the day today. However, as you can see over northwest Ohio, just fair skies. And taking a look at our regional temperatures, Toledo, we're sitting at 77 degrees, 75 up near Jackson, Michigan, 76 just south of Battle Creek. And as you can see, closer to the lake, we see 73 degrees at Sandusky. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast, Thursday we see that full moon that'll be occurring actually in the morning. We also see those showers continuing Friday into Saturday. Sunday, first day of fall, 4:44 in the afternoon. Sun will be out for you to enjoy that first day of fall, and the sunshine will be continuing into Monday. We do see a slight cooling trend up till Sunday, but Monday warming back up into the lower 70s.
Oh wow, it's definitely a rainy weekend.
Yeah, it'll be pretty windy, but you know my cats love the rain. Actually, they'll be having a lot of fun with
you know,
that.
I have a German Shepherd and he loves the rain, but you know, I don't think these guys mind the rain here. Yeah. Hi, hello.
So energetic.
And you know, I don't think a lot of animals will mind the rain, which will be out on Saturday. You know, rain or shine at the Mutt Strut. So you know, stay tuned. You can find out what the Mutt Strut is. We'll be right back. Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. I'm actually here with Jackie Nathan today, who is from the Wood County Humane Society. You're on the board, correct?
That's correct.
And you're in charge of the fundraising.
Yes.
Right? Okay, and she brought along two little, our little furry friends here. We have, this is Gracie right here. No, wait, where is Gracie?
Gracie,
Gracie's
yes, this
right
is Gracie.
here.
And this is
then
Phoebe.
We have Phoebe. Okay, great. Okay, you know, before I actually before we went on break, I mentioned that these animals will be at the Mutt Strut this Saturday. So would you mind explaining to our viewers who aren't familiar with the Mutt Strut what this event is?
The Mutt Strut is a fundraiser for the Wood County Humane Society, and we have been holding it for several years. We really enjoy having lots and lots of people come out and try to raise money for the Humane Society. They can walk their dogs, they can walk with a friend, they can walk in memory of a pet. They can walk with another animal, a parrot or a cat if they want. But the object is to raise money for the Humane Society, and the people who raise the most money get prizes. And we're actually, this year we've gone with an online fundraising so that people can have their own pages and do Razoo, which is razoo.com is the name of that site that they can go and raise money for the Mutt Strut. And we ask that people get sponsors and get people to sponsor them on their walk. They don't have to walk a certain amount of distance or anything, and it's not timed, so it's very, very flexible. You can get there anytime between 9:30 and 2 o'clock and do the walk, and there'll be all kinds of wonderful vendors. With pet supplies, and there'll be food, and there will be pumpkin pies and pop,
Wow,
and
great food.
all kinds of good food, and some entertainment. We're going to have Ruby the Red-Eyed Tree Frog and Max and Irma will be there, and we're going to have a great time.
Okay. And when you say like people can win prizes, so what exactly? How do they win those prizes?
The people who raise the most money, the adult and the younger person who raised the most money, will get a prize basket, which has a lot of really nice prizes, restaurant coupons, and other kinds of gifts. And also we have we have contests during the day. So we have the beauty pageant. The beauty pageant is, Gracie, behave yourself. The beauty pageant is where dogs come and tell their stories to our jurors, and our jurors will then select the most deserving of the king and queen, and sometimes pick a prince and princess. And they'll be able to select prizes. There's also contests like Mutt Strut Idol, so the dog that does the best singing job, or things like that. So we have those all through the day, and you can win little prizes, and it's pretty entertaining.
Okay, great. And I'm sorry, what were you?
One more thing.
Yes. Oh, hello.
This year
okay.
we're really excited.
Losing my
We're really excited about having the Wiener Dog Nationals.
Yes, we were just about to ask you about that. So what is the Wiener Dog Nationals?
The Wiener Dog Nationals are dachshund races, and they have them in two categories: the Frankfurters and the Bratwursts. Okay. And they race to see who's the fastest one, and they have a big group race first, and then they go faster, and they get down to the winners of the smaller dachshunds, which are the Frankfurters, and then the larger ones, which are the Bratwursts. Okay. So, and that's got to be pretty entertaining. I've never seen it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. And this is one of the biggest fundraising events, correct? For the Humane Society?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what message are you trying to get across to people? Is there a certain message, or?
Well, I mean, the event is just fun, but the Humane Society takes care of all of the animals in Wood County in terms of helping to provide humane education and work to provide good health and care for animals that are abandoned or in cruelty situations.
Oh, great! Wow,
Yeah.
wow. And you were going to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, what exactly makes the Mutt Strut event so big? Why is it such a big attraction?
Well, I think people love to come out places with their puppies and meet other puppies, and it's a fun way to raise money. We also have a fancier event earlier in the year, which is the Wine and Dine, which, you know, that's sort of, you know, everybody gets dressed up and comes. It's a wonderful event, but this is totally different. You're out at the park, and it's, hopefully it's beautiful and not raining, but even if it's a little drizzly, it's still fun, and we'll be out there.
And it's in Perrysburg, correct?
Yes, it's at the WW Knight Preserve, Nature Preserve, which is River Road and White Road. It's right on the corner there. And you can get more information at woodcountyhumanesociety.org.
Oh, great, great. And how many people are you expecting at this event?
We would love to see 150 walkers, and then of course we'll have another 200 or 300 people just attending and enjoying.
This event is from 10 to 2, correct?
That's correct.
So yeah, if you're in the Perrysburg area, please check out this event. And we're actually going to go on a quick break, but when we come back, Jackie is going to kind of show us what the adoption process is like, how to adopt a dog. So stick with us. Welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs. As I mentioned earlier, we're here with Jackie Nathan here, I'm sorry, who came on such short notice, so thank you very much. And, you know, for our viewers who aren't familiar, like, you know, of what the Humane Society is, how would you explain it to them?
The Humane Society started out with a bunch of people who wanted to have some sort of a place that people could go in the county if they were having problems with abandoned animals or animals that were being mistreated, and that's how it started out. And we're lucky to have a beautiful shelter now at 801 Van Camp Road here in Bowling Green, and we have a humane agent who goes and investigates cruelty complaints. When we get calls in from the community that somebody thinks there might be something wrong, then our humane agent goes out and investigates. We're able to take care of quite a number of cats and a smaller number of dogs at the shelter. So, and we're almost always full, which is, you know, kind of too bad. But when we're not totally full, we're able to take some dogs from the county shelter. So we have a no-kill shelter.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, so that's really important, and we're always looking for volunteers, board members, people who can help out in various ways. Foster homes are always needed. So everybody works really hard. We have a hard-working, very dedicated staff, and a great board who work really hard to get the word out about all the services we provide.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. How much work actually goes into keeping the Humane Society functioning?
Lots.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
We have on the board, we have various committees that do the not only just the things like the financials and you know, president and secretary and things like that, but we also have people who go out and do education in the community.
Okay.
And we have we have a SNP program, which is a spay-neuter program, so we transport animals from Wood County up to Toledo for low-cost spay-neuters.
Okay.
And we also have a program that helps people who are suffering from domestic violence to find a place for their pets, because sometimes they don't want to leave their homes unless they have a place for their pets.
Yeah. So how important are the volunteers with keeping the Humane Society functioning?
They're tremendous. We couldn't do it without the volunteers, because I mean the Mutt Strut, we probably have 30 volunteers who are going to be helping.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and you know, the board's all volunteers, and we just have a small paid staff. Everybody else just donates their time, which is wonderful.
Okay. And if a regular person in Wood County, you know, wanted to help volunteer, how could they go about doing that for the Mutt Strut?
For the Mutt Strut?
Yeah.
Call me.
Okay. And what about volunteering at the Humane Society in general?
In general, you can contact the Humane Society. Actually, if you go on the website, which as I said before is woodcountyhumanesociety.org.
Okay.
If you do that, you will see a place where you can check off, I'd like to volunteer, and they'll go directly to the person on the board who's the volunteer, who's in charge of volunteers, and she'll get you hooked up.
And the animals you get at the Humane Society, are they abused? Like, what's their condition when you first get them?
Some of them are abused. Sometimes their conditions are really, really sad.
Oh,
and
wow. Could you
we
explain
have
a
to.
condition, like a certain
Well,
pet
we've
you've
had
that's...
we've had all. I mean, a lot of times they're starved to almost death. They'll, you know, you can see all of their bones, and sometimes they have heartworm, and sometimes collars embedded in their necks.
Oh, wow.
Other kinds of damage that people have inflicted on them. So a lot of times, you know, a lot of times it's neglect more than deliberate cruelty, but it has the same terrible effect on the animals.
And I'm assuming your love for animals is what got you, you know, working at the Humane Society. But is there another reason that you're working there?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, these
great.
girls are adopted from the Humane
They
Society.
are adopted,
Yeah.
and they're adorable. They're so
Yeah.
well behaved.
Yeah. Once again, we have Gracie and BB. They're acting so well.
And how long have you been working with the Humane Society for?
Probably 25 years.
25
So
years?
a
Oh,
long
wow.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we're going to go on another short break, but when we come back, we're going to, Jackie is going to introduce us to Gracie and BB, and we're going to hear their story. So stay with us.
Hi, and welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs Show. Once again, we're back with Jackie Nathan, and we have two special little dogs here.
I know, they're so well behaved. So why don't you introduce us to them?
Well, this is BB,
Okay.
the black
Hi,
one,
BB.
and
Okay.
Gracie is the gray one.
Gracie, okay.
And part of the reason we named them what we named them was so we could tell them apart at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay,
because
okay.
these are sisters.
They're sisters.
Okay, now come on, that's really rude, Grace.
It's okay.
They're sisters. That's a dominance thing that dogs
Yeah.
do when
Yes.
they're nervous. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now quit. Anyway, they came to the shelter last year, and my partner and I wanted to find new dogs because our dogs had gotten old and died that we had
Oh,
before.
wow.
And so we were looking at the shelter, of course. All of our animals have always come from the shelter,
Okay.
and we think that's important to help find homes for homeless animals by providing those homes.
Yeah.
So when these guys came into the shelter staff, because they were really, really wild. They're a little kind of a handful now, but they were
okay.
just kind of really crazy, and they wouldn't, you know, they would just pull you over, and they weren't very people-oriented.
Okay.
So the shelter staff was going to separate them.
Okay.
And they had really apparently been in a home where they just hadn't bonded with people very much. They were perfectly nice and polite, but they wouldn't look at you. They wouldn't. They just, they were just sort of spacey and wild.
Okay.
So we decided we wanted to adopt them both, rather than having the shelter split them up.
Mhm.
So, and the first week after, I was like, oh, what have we done? You know? But they've turned out to be wonderful
that's
dogs. But a
wonderful.
lot of times it takes a little patience, A lot of times you have to wait a few weeks before things you kind of learn to figure each other out and get along and figure out what works. We found out that regular leashes weren't working on them very well, so we tried different the halties,
Okay.
and the ones that go under the legs,
Yeah.
and to find out what worked the best for these individual dogs. And they've started to become really friendly and people oriented, and
And you
we're
said
happy
you've
about
had
that.
them for about 6
About
years?
a year.
Oh, a year? A year?
Yeah.
But they're 6
They were
years old,
5 years
right?
when
Years
they
old.
were
Okay.
5 years old when they came in, and they were just space cadets.
Oh,
When my
okay.
family and I were looking for a dog, we weren't sure if we should go to a breeder or go to a shelter. Do you think there's a benefit to going to a shelter than to a breeder? Like, what do you prefer? What do you think?
I think it's very hard to find a breeder that you're sure is a reputable breeder who really looks out for the welfare of the dogs. I'm sorry to say that it's really easy to get dogs who haven't been cared for, and they seem well cared for, because the part that you see is all looks good and nice, but a lot of times the dogs don't at a breeder don't necessarily get the kind of care that we would hope they would get. And if you get a dog from a shelter, you're giving a dog a home that doesn't have one, that's already has had maybe been rejected and needs some help.
Okay.
So, you know.
When you say they don't get the care that they need, what exactly are you trying to say? Like, are they not treated well at a
Well,
breeder?
I mean, I'm sure you've heard of puppy mills,
I have,
and
yeah.
there's a lot of places like that. And if you buy pets at pet stores, you know, you just have no guarantee that that's not where your animal's coming from.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you do want to buy from a breeder, you know, visit the breeder, visit the home, make sure you see all of the dogs, make sure you see how they're treated. You know, don't just, you know, come to the front door in the nice room and have them bring out a dog.
Okay. Now, I know you said you've adopted all of your animals from the Humane Society. So could you explain the adoption process maybe a little bit?
The adoption process is pretty strict. You have to fill out a questionnaire, and they make sure that where you're living is you're allowed to have animals, and they ask you a lot of questions about animals you've had in the past and things like that, and just make sure that you're able to take care of an animal. You know, if you know, sometimes we've had students who really want to adopt animals, but they're living in an apartment that there's no animals allowed.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's a problem. But once you're okay, then you can, you know, take your puppy or kitty home. And we have tons of wonderful animals out there. And we do have specials periodically. And also once a month we have. We are very fortunate that Nagoya Restaurant sponsors a couple of animals for adoption. So we have one dog and one cat each month that they will pay the adoption fee.
Okay. Wow. You know, thank you so much for joining us on such short notice. We really appreciate you
My
taking
pleasure.
the time out of your day.
Thank you.
And once again, Saturday, would you mind explaining that again? Saturday, 10 to 2, correct? The Mutt Strut. So
The Mutt
be
Strut,
there.
please come. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
and
it is.
You'll have a good time.
Yes. You can maybe meet BB and Gracie. They'll be there as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
I'm Parminder Bunga.
And I'm Melissa Belcher.
And that's all for BG24 Public Affairs. And make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for BG24 News, your campus and community breaking news. We'll be airing tomorrow at 5:30, so make sure to stick around. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.